This essay has a huge human rights violation. Staff are people, stuff is things. Why do we look at human beings as objects? I don't understand. That's insulting to human beings. Do you feel job satisfaction at work? You do have a job and you feel comfortable doing it, right? Is it the same for every other worker or employee in that company? Maybe not. But whatever it is, that's the topic we're going to cover today. Welcome to IELTS Juice. We're going to assess an essay today, and the topic says, as most people spend a major part of their adult life at work, job satisfaction is an important element of individual well-being. Well, so the focus is that many people, many adults, spend a lot of time at work. So job satisfaction, meaning whether you're satisfied with what you do every day or every work day, is something very important in your health and in your perception of your life and your well-being. Now let's see what questions IELTS asks. What factors contribute to job satisfaction? I always do this. We have the topic in the middle. So we're talking about job satisfaction, whether you are satisfied with it or not. The question looks back at history. It wants you to look back and see what elements were there that made this possible. So what factors contribute to job satisfaction? Now, I am trying to make it as clear as possible because it is important to look at it from a cause and effect perspective. So this job satisfaction that we have in the middle is a result of other players, other actors, other factors, other contributors that they have been working. They either worked or they are still at work. The grammar doesn't matter here. Basically, something took place and the result of it was job satisfaction. And in this case, not one single thing. So we need to come up with at least two again. So it's critical to note we have to come up with at least two factors. And then there's another question. How realistic is the expectation of job satisfaction for all workers? I have seen many candidates struggle with this question. It's a very famous one. Basically, the question says, do you think it is possible to make every worker, every employee satisfied with what they do at the work that they do? Is it possible? Is it doable? Are there ways that this can be implemented? This is the question. The best way to approach it is that you basically need to say if it is realistic or not. When it says how realistic is this expectation, I mean, can you expect that everybody becomes successful at what they do or become pleased with what they are doing or what they do at job, at work? Well, you basically need to say that if this and that are implemented, maybe yes, or no, it's not realistic because it's human nature. So you need to take a very careful yes and no approach. It's not a categorical yes, absolutely, no, definitely not. It's somewhere in the middle, and that makes it a bit tricky. And at the same time, again, it's a challenge. We love challenges because it's in the challenge that we can actually show our ability to write. So, with the explanation out of the way, let's dive in to the candidate's response. Nowadays, the level of welfare among the people, which people? Okay, I need to repeat this. Your essays, I mean, basically, whatever you produce at IELTS must act standalone. So you cannot just like negotiate with the examiner and tell the examiner, yes, please scroll up and look at the question. Okay, as you can see in the second line of the question, it says, we must not do that. So your response is all by itself. It will be assessed all by itself. Please pay attention. When I'm reading this for the very first time and it says the people, and I guess the writer had in mind that, okay, the topic is up there. So when we say the people, everybody knows which type of people or which group we're talking about. So yeah, the people. But no, we need to define. So basically, I really don't know what type of people we're talking about here. I know, sounds unfair. It's unfair, but this is the way it has to be, okay? Depends on the level of, not level of is another word. The level of, actually one F, fulfillment with one L. So fulfill, double L, meant of their occupation. Because most of, so many ofs, why are there so many of level of fulfillment of their occupation? Because most of, because most matures, mature is an adjective, we cannot pluralize it. Maturity is the noun. You can use a structure like the mature. So because most of the mature, oh, and there's like the matures apostrophe s lifetime included of their career. No, included is not a good word. It's yeah, the writer wanted to say, when I say yeah, I mean it clicks in my head because I understand what the writer wanted to say, but it's not the way to say it. The writer wanted to say the matures, the matures apostrophe s lifetime consists of their career, but naturally speaking, we don't say a sentence like this. Naturally, forget grammar. We don't say our life has job in it. You know, we say job is part of our lives. Our lives are larger, a lot more beautiful, and it has a lot of other things in it other than job or a career. So we usually, as human beings, we don't say sentences like this. You know, it sounds really weird. Before I begin, this is the very first sentence, and I've already picked up multiple vocabulary errors, grammar errors, and messages are not well conveyed. So I'm, in my head, in my examiner's head, I am lowering all the bars. So everything is coming down. I'm not considering any high score at the moment. I'm not being judgmental, but as a human being, I'm searching for lower tier scores. I think job satisfaction originated from amount of income. Why past tense? It's correct, but originates. I think job satisfaction originates from the amount of income is a little weird. You can say income. What do you want to say? A kilogram of income? And great relations between colleagues. Good. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds fair. So job satisfaction depends on income and the relationship with colleagues. Some may argue, that it could not be positive for all workers, but there are some solutions. Another issue, we already had problems with grammar, vocabulary. Now the writer decided to make it even harder. So instead of focusing on him or herself as the writer, answering the question, we now have others to be here, and we also need to consider their opinion. And then we also need to say that, no, you guys should not say, because I mean, it's like, it doesn't depend on income and relations. It's more than that. If there are some dissatisfaction with the job, there are solutions. Can this essay deliver on that? I have many doubts. There are two fundamental reasons to have satisfaction in an occupation which have direct impact on fulfillment, and again spelled incorrectly, of adult life. That's a good topic sentence. There are going to be two fundamental reasons to have job satisfaction. Reason A, reason B, and the reasons are here. To have a direct impact on the on fulfillment of adult life. Okay, it's a bit generic, because we're not talking about the fulfillment in adult life. There are other elements other than job, but let's see. Maybe the writer can maneuver, very well between messages and can deliver something fascinating. So I'm keeping my brain and my analytical part of the brain still open for miracles, for beautiful sentences, beautiful words. First, people have been people. We no longer talk about the people. We're saying people. One thing, audience matters, and our audience here is the employees who have a job, maybe a part-time job, maybe it's just a full-time job, maybe they are contractors, whatever, but they're employees or workers. Those are our targeted audience. We're not talking about investors here. We're not talking about children, babies, homemakers, retired people. We're not talking about them. But when we say people, people is me, people is you, people is everybody else that you see on the street. People is the children coming out. I'm saying the word people. I should use a plural verb, but it's deliberate. So people is every single one of the elements I just mentioned as a word. It encompasses, it covers all of them. Are we talking about all of them here? No. Define your audience. You need to say who is. We're not talking about the people from the Neanderthals all the way to hunter-gatherers, all the way to the, I don't know, before the Industrial Revolution and after Industrial Revolution. We're not talking about those people. We need to be very clear what group of people we're targeting. So people, meaning employees here, have been almost always considered their, I don't need this, income. Employees have income. Children don't have income. Their income, having a fair amount of them, who's them? People or income? But this is not plural. Referencing issue. Even can cause happiness in an employee, because people tend to have a feeling of respect from their own employer, which, I need a comma here, I guess, because employer is a human being. We cannot say which goes back to a thing, which most of them, who's them? Employers employees, normal people, income can come from payment that employer, most of them can come from payment that employers should give them. This them is employees, I guess. This is an error. Still, I am trying to be smart here and fill in the blanks. Even if I guess they're employees, this is still an error. It's very vague. The referencing is very, very vague and unclear. I didn't get what this them refers to. Another reason is about the atmosphere and relationships of the job. Okay, so the first one was about income. Good, at least how do you say this? The organization of sentences is accurate, but the message is very misleading. Another reason is about the atmosphere and relationships of the job. I assume the job means the job of the employees who is our audience or who are our audience. Both are accurate. Audience can be singular or plural, which can increase significantly the rate of employees' satisfaction. Okay, yeah. So, correct. This is another contributing factor. In my experience, oh, good. This is good. As an example, the writer is coming up with a personal experience. You are allowed to do so. By all means, you can come up with personal opinions to answer the question. That happens in every response. As you can see here, below the topic and the thesis or the essay type, not thesis, the essay type, you have a sentence saying, give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or your own experience. So we're allowed to come up with our own experiences or anything that we have learned so far. In my experience, due to close and respectful behavior that my colleagues have in our department, I don't need this comma, most of us, by the last questionnaire, another comma, admitted that we enjoy, it's a common mistake to associate enjoy with a preposition, especially from. We enjoy things. Why do you need a preposition? Enjoy it. Do you need a vessel to enjoy something? Do you need something to enjoy that you always have a preposition? Go ahead, enjoy it. Nothing extra in the middle. Isn't it a cheerful thought? Just if you like something, enjoy it without any barriers. Enjoy their jobs. Okay, in this first body paragraph, I was introduced to two elements that contributed to job satisfaction. The ambience, atmosphere was the second. The first one was income. I understood the framework, but the execution had a lot of mistakes. And I'm not happy with the messages that I received. Possibility of having these factors throughout every worker, throughout is another word. You mean through every worker, I guess. May decrease, that comes without an E in the end, by some obstacles, here, that some jobs face. I don't need S because some jobs face is plural. I don't need this. What do you mean? Possibility of having these factors through every worker may decrease? Okay. The possibility of job satisfaction goes down because there might be some obstacles. Okay. I assume we are answering the second question. I'm assuming only. Do I have solid proof? No. And it's, I feel I'm blindfolded, or I'm wearing a blindfold. I cannot see ahead. And the writer is telling me that, okay, it's the next paragraph now. Just walk. And I'm walking into the second paragraph, not knowing what to expect. I was told at the gate, before I enter the writer's mind, that there are two questions and there are two paragraphs. So I assumed each paragraph is responsible for one question. We are at the second body paragraph, so we are answering the second question. Let's see. For example, a foreign worker, who? It's a worker is a human being, not a tool, not an object. Where is the human rights movement? Works, who works, because it's an individual, one, at a restaurant, cleaning and washing dishes, cannot communicate friendly, cannot communicate friendly with others, with other kitchen staff, not staff. This essay has a huge human rights violation. Staff are people, stuff is things. Why do we look at human beings as objects? I don't understand. That's insulting to human beings. Because of lack of a lot of again. You can say due to lack of, instead of saying of. Due to lack of language knowledge and different cultures. Also, his boss, his refers to a foreign worker. So the foreign worker is a male foreign worker. His boss may take advantage of him by giving poor amount of payment. That's not the correct way to say. Not enough salary. Or you don't know the word meager, but you can say below average wages or below average salaries. And make sure I'm going to put the correct spelling right now on the screen. Make sure you put a hyphen. Below average salary, below average payment, below average wages. As poor knowledge about them rights. I'm laughing because this is used in English, but not by very intelligent people. IELTS tests your standard English, and the English we are going to deal with is the one that Cambridge accepts, Oxford accepts, Merriam-Webster accepts. So we have a standard international English, not these. This may be in some areas correct, but we are not going to teach that. We're not going to learn this kind of language. But doesn't start a sentence for a formal essay or a formal response. I would have used however. However, this would be solved by educating those workers about their rights and attending in courses. Who is going to attend? Subject is missing. Subject is not clear. In courses which give them basic information about the new language, because it's the language of the host country, and culture of the new country, where they live. Oh my God. As a result, it would quite possible, it would be possible, it wouldn't be possible. Which one? It would be, I am the writer. I am writing. We're co-writing it. It would be quite possible for everyone to have enjoyment in their job in order to, oh, finally, life fulfillment, in order to have, I guess, life fulfillment, but finally we have fulfillment in the correct spelling format. In conclusion, I strongly believe, I didn't see anything strong here, but I strongly believe that everyone can have job satisfaction throughout their income and atmosphere of their workplace. Workplace is one word. Oh my God. I am sure there are other mistakes inside that I overlooked. I am sure of it because the sheer number of errors is so high. I couldn't, this is already a long video, and I managed to only touch on some key elements that is definitely affecting my understanding of the essay. 311 words. Yeah, I'm just going to say very briefly that I am not satisfied with the grammar. I am not satisfied with the vocabulary. And there are attempts to write complex sentences, but they are not very successful. Not very successful, really. I can say that the two questions were addressed. The organization also in paragraphs was okay, but I had referencing issues, faulty transitions, I had paragraphing issues, I also had elements that needed more development, the messages were cut short. So basically, there is a lot to learn from this, and I'm sure you learned a lot from this. Usually these samples will give us a ton of learning experiences, a ton. It's beautiful. It's nice to see what areas you can improve on and how easy it is if you put your mind to it. You will be able to correct these mistakes on your representatives, your next essay, maybe letter, maybe a report. But whichever it is, make sure your representatives are going to make you proud. Until then, have a lovely day.